had diabetes now for around 14 years. I was 24 when I first found out that I had diabetes.
What were your symptoms of diabetes?
I had a thirst that I couldn't quench. I was moody, I was tired, just generally felt awful all the time. And I went to the doctor and he said, well, I don't really know, and it was diabetes week, so I went to Narra Fair and got my finger pricked, and she said, oh, your sugar's 11. And I said, what should it be? And she said, between 3 and 8. I went, oh, back to the doctor. I think you should do some blood tests, and had diabetes.
What was your reaction to learning you had diabetes?
My reaction to finding out I had diabetes was not good. I didn't really know a lot about it. What I did know was that it can't happen to me, and it did. And then I just thought, well, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I'm not going to worry about it. And I did, probably for the first couple of months, and then decided, oh well, I'm not going to worry about it until, now, I guess. But at first didn't want to know about it.
What were you able to do, and what weren't you able to do when you were first diagnosed?
I was able to do certain things that didn't take a lot of effort, like always look after my feet. I was able to test my sugar, but I always made an excuse. It was too long. 2 minutes is too long to wait for a sugar test. It was always, and I still am, very, very cautious about my feet and cuts and abrasions and things like that. I always looked after those things, but just as far as looking after the control that you have, you can do it, but it's just, I think it's more other people in the background all the time telling you what you should do, and that's when you go, okay, I'm not doing it anymore. And I did, I just decided that I wasn't going to worry about it.
How did this affect your adherence to glucose testing, following a diet, maintaining a healthy lifestyle?
I was out of control. Everything was out of control, and felt awful all the time, but didn't think that might be because you're not looking after your diabetes.
Did it bother you that you felt unwell, or that you weren't following the advice you had been given?
It bothered me infrequently, not enough to make me get a reality check. On and off. I thought, I should do that, but then thought, no, I won't do that.
What else was going on in your life at the time?
What was going on in my life, it was mundane. I think I had no other real purpose to want to control everything that's going on in my life. You get lost in a rut, I suppose, and just go, oh well, I'll just do this and I'll do that. And diabetes becomes a part of that, because to live and be happy and do everything, you have to be able to control the diabetes. It controls everything, basically.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's now 16.
How did bringing up your daughter influence your outlook on managing your diabetes?
As Courtney's grown up, in the interim, as I said before, I sort of thought, well, I'll be okay. But as Courtney's progressed and got a little bit older, and she's turned 16, and she's moving towards 18 and 21, I think I've decided that I would like to be a part of her life and grow with her. And in order to do that, I've decided to change my lifestyle and the way I live, so that we can be a part of it, but always probably more conscious of Courtney not getting it than worrying about me already having it, and still am. And that, like, test Courtney every 3 months or so, and make sure that she's okay, because I don't want Courtney to get diabetes.
It sounds as though by looking after yourself better, you're trying to prevent your daughter from developing diabetes.
That would probably be the best way of looking at it, yeah.
What was the emotional response that led to you changing your approach?
I I believe that Courtney is probably going down the same road as I did at 16, and she's a big girl, probably she's overweight as I was, and I look at her progression and think, you know, of course she's going to be like her mum. That's just the way it is, or a dad, but I don't want her to go down that road, and I think that if I can not live my life through her, but if I can change the way we live and endorse those good habits into Courtney's lifestyle, she won't have to worry about diabetes.
By modelling a healthy lifestyle, you may help your daughter avoid developing diabetes.
I don't want anyone to ever get diabetes.
You've lost a lot of weight. How did you manage that?
As far as my weight, I have probably in the last 10 years not been overly concerned about it. I was probably happy with who I was. And 12 months ago in May, I decided that I wasn't happy with who I was, and I know that if I'm less heavy, I have less insulin and there's less chance of complications. And I got on the scales and thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to be obese, is what I would say I was. I want to be thin. So as of then till now, I've changed my lifestyle, what I eat, and I have a quarter of the amount of insulin, which is good for me. But that was an easy road because I wanted it. If you want it, it's easy. If you don't want it, then you won't do it. It's not easy. I've got to be honest and say I just thought diabetics were fat. But that's not true. That's an excuse. And we can all make those. And I just thought, oh, well, it's because most people you meet that are diabetic are overweight. And you just think, well, that's why I'm like this. But it's, don't go down that road. I'm never going back to being overweight. And it's just a matter of working out what's good for you. Working out whether, you may not need 5 carbohydrates a day. You may only need 2 carbohydrates a day. You may need a day free of carbohydrate. You may need a day free of something, but work out what's good for you, and that's what I've done. I've worked out what's best for me, and now I'm nearly happy with my weight. Not quite.
How long did it take you to give up smoking?
Forever. It's still, smoking is one of those things, like you can lose weight. Losing weight was easy. Giving up smoking is very difficult. But you have to do it because that's all part of that change. I don't know, 15 years from when I was diagnosed, 14 years, 13 years. When I first was diagnosed, I thought, well, what's smoking going to do? But I know what it does. And not just if I wasn't, whether I'm diabetic or not, I know what it does. I think I realise that I'm not bulletproof because as I get older, people around me get older, and you interact with more people, and people start to die, and you realise that life's too short.
What does diabetes mean to you today that it didn't mean to you 10 years ago?
Today, diabetes is something that I can live with by just making a few changes. I don't have an incurable disease. I don't have something that controls me. Basically, I can control it if I want to. Whereas 10 years ago, I just thought, don't be stupid. What's going to happen?
What didn't make an impact on you 10 years ago that impresses you now? What changed your view?
My view has probably changed dramatically, I would say, in the last, starting around 12 months ago. And there's a couple of things that have taken that we've done, and I've started working with Variety, the children's charity, and realised that there's people much worse off than me, and I should just get a reality check and get on with it because they can't change what they're doing. I want to live the rest of my life. I don't want to have things chopped off. I like my fingers, I like my toes, and I don't want to feel awful. I want to feel good about myself, and I want to control diabetes so that I can live a normal lifestyle and live a long and happy lifestyle and build my new home and be able to climb ladders and get under the stairwell and get in the cupboard and put electrical wires up and those things that I probably couldn't do if I wasn't in control of my sugar. I wouldn't climb a ladder. But if I know my sugar's okay, I can do things that I couldn't do before.
If you knew at the time you were diagnosed what you know now about diabetes, would you do anything differently?
If I could turn back the clock 14 years and change to the way that I feel now, I would think that I wasn't invincible. I feel like I've probably wasted 14 years of feeling unwell and feeling not good and, being grouchy with people and those sort of things. But if I had my time over again, I would probably go and see and probably listen to what he had to say this time instead of thinking that I knew and thinking that he didn't know because he didn't have diabetes. And just, I think that you'll always go through a period where you'll think that you don't want to have it, but I think you have to overcome that very quickly, and it's easy. It's just a little bit of a lifestyle change. You can basically do everything everybody else wants to, but feel good forever.